What it is, what it do, and how the hell are you? With yours truly, Petrov Phukka, back with another motherfucker. Been wanting to do this one for a real long time. Pretty much since I first seen the first we're in this together commercial, or the first we're in this together post. I've always had something to say about we ain't in this together. So I guess in hindsight, you could say it's been a long time coming. But I think it's something that needs to be said. And I'm going to be the one that's willing to say it because I believe it. This might upset some people, and that's okay. It's perfectly fine, because I promise you, I don't care. In my time on this earth, I don't think I've ever truly believed that people generally like people. Or as they would say in 2020, we are all in this together. I call it the shtick. I see all the hearts on everyone's windows and all the people saying, you're not alone. We're on this together. I see the commercials, the celebrity posts, all that stuff. COVID-19 definitely gave everyone and anyone who panders the line to try it out. And a lot of people took it to trying it. I didn't stay home one full day during lockdown. Not one full day. I went to a store every day that was open during lockdown. Whether it was big box, the gas station, the few stores that tried to stay open up here and there. I made my rounds. I've seen so many posts sharing their open, honest opinions that were seemingly biased because everybody was saying they were, got these Facebook virologists and shit going to give their opinion. I mean, we also had Dr. Burke and Dr. Fauci who couldn't even come to the same actual terms on it. That's frightening. I've seen friendships and relationships end over the COVID-19 and its opinions. Lockdown showed true compassion, and it showed true compassion and that we're all in this together. But clearly, hate was thriving. COVID, no doubt, is scary if you have underlying conditions, if you're elderly, or if you're an infant. Even then, nobody was on the same page when it came to the hard questions. And that's true. After 60 days lockdown, people got mad, riled up, anxious, just a bundle of emotions. As soon as we started to open, the Minneapolis Police Department killed George Floyd and set forth even more events and more evidence that just proves that compassion and that we're all in this together is just a lie in my eyes. Everyone was on the same page for the first 20 hours of the George Floyd after him being killed. Seemingly, that page was the hate against police brutality, and everybody wanted those police to catch charges. Statistics don't lie. Police do kill a lot of people a year. Whether they're black, white, Hispanic, natives, Asian, it doesn't matter. They kill a lot of people a year. Maybe that's just in the United States because we have guns. But that's not for this. Those bad police are the true issue. Me, I've yet to meet a good cop. I hold out hope. The unions protecting those bad cops are just as bad. And everyone was on board for those 4 police officers catching charges. I don't really care that the one cop said, can we roll him over? You never got up to defend him. You never got up to re-roll him over. You asked. If you really gave a shit, you would have did it. Same with the people that were watching it happen. Saying he can't breathe. He's telling you he can't breathe. Why didn't you move the cop? Why didn't you catch the charge to save him? If it's compassion and we're all in this together, I'm just saying it's evidence that shows me we're not. Police reform was and is truly needed. The lines drawn in the sand were made clear by day 2. It turned political, and it turned into a race issue. Almost instantly after day 1. I've seen so many people outright switch sides, like instant switches. Seeing so many people legit get into arguments, start fights over the lawns drying in the sand. And the lines that I seen that were drawn were all lives matter, Black Lives Matter, and the thin blue line. I seen people that are always going to obey the law. I seen people that believed all lives matter, and I believe people that believe Black Lives Matter. I seen all of them get into countless arguments that generally went nowhere. I don't think anybody's opinion was changed on any side. Though seeing them go head to head online, and occasionally on the street, and most of the time you've seen the people that were against the protest get their shit rocked. They don't have the numbers, and they were stupid for going out there talking shit. Freedom of speech, right? Cause and effect also. By that, seeing people go head to head on the street and all that, it really did show people's legit true colors. By that, I mean, I've seen people kneel down that said when Kaepernick kneeled down and way back when, that they would never kneel and he was a piece of trash. I've seen people switch that from that to that. That to me is virtue signaling, that's pandering, that's legitimately switching sides. And that's also one of the reasons I say, I know I wasn't supposed to go off on a tangent, but this is needed. That's why I also say people that believe in white guilt and white privilege are saying those things because they did some heinous shit or said some shit that they regret back in the day. And they think now if they side with one side, oh, they won't go dig up my shit. That's what I think. I've seen people turn radical on the right and the left. I've seen people go from right to left. I've seen people go from left to right. I've seen people go from right and left to center. I've seen people become Antifa, and I've seen people defend Antifa. I watched the city that raised me essentially burn down. I've seen firefighters, police, and bystanders all watch those buildings just burn. What once was East Lake Street, 31st Avenue, over by Target, 3rd Precinct, the liquor store, the tobacco store, Town Talk Diner, Denny's. It wasn't Denny's, but it was a Denny's. Then they tore down the AutoZone, the Wendy's. They fucked up the Aldi's, the Schooner. That was the pawn shops, the restaurants, the post office, the library, a building next to a halfway house that was next to an apartment building. Oh yeah, they burnt down a lot of shit and wrecked a lot of stuff, and that's only on one side. So when I say they burnt down a city that raised me, that I remember going to the pawn shop and going to the library and going to the Town Talk Diner and going to the Denny's and the Wendy's and AutoZone was Boston Market and Blockbuster. I remember that. Now, what about all those little incidents? Seeing people become Antifa, defend Antifa, watching the city burn, seeing firefighters and police people are supposed to defend the city, plus the bystanders just watch it all burn. What about that says compassion and we're all in this together? Were we all in together to watch it burn? Should we have had some s'mores? I guess that's a good question in hindsight. And it wasn't just Minneapolis, but many cities got burnt down. Many cities were looted and rioted to rubble. And I understand why people are looting and rioting. I get it. It doesn't mean I have to agree with it, but I get it. And I didn't pick a side. I did my best to stay neutral. And that's because I believe I'm an honest person. But I also believe it's because I'm skeptical of people just to begin with. And in general. I generally think there's more bad people in a room than good. I generally do not go into large crowds because I'm skeptical of whatever narrative could be pushed. Especially when I'm at a protest. Just like when I seen the peaceful protesters and then I seen the rioters do completely two different things. I think the kumbaya shtick is just a joke, and I think it always has been. And I think that's on every side. And what I really think is, why lie and act compassionate when that's a facade? People show loyalty to the ones that they love, or at least they should be showing loyalty to the ones that they love. Because at the end of the day, loyalty, compassion, caring, understanding, forgiveness, none of that can be forced. Not even respect can be forced. Trust can't be forced. It's all earned. And that's why I'll honestly say, if your neighbor's house was burning down, if your house was burning down, I don't think your neighbors would help you put it out unless they knew you and kind of liked you. Otherwise, they might just look like, not my business, not my problem. You can't force people to care or be passionate. It's easy to be a part of the collective and to be a part of the mob. It's easy to use talking points that can be refuted with facts and stats, and then turn to name-calling, trolling online, and violence in the streets. Because we've seen this time and time again. How many times have you seen an argument go online, be online, and see somebody say something, and then they just get blasted by a bunch of people? Maybe they're not all trolls, maybe they all think they just got something to say. But I also think it's a lot easier to join the mob than to be against the mob. And again, what about any of that is compassionate? And what about all of that says that we're all together? Were we all in this together when they put essential workers, and I use bunny ears when I say essential, they made essential workers stay at work and had everybody else go home? You wonder why most of the COVID cases came from lockdown, because the people who had essential workers, you had them out there getting sick and sending that shit home. But yet we're all in this together, right? And the fact, like I even said, the fact that multiple people are on the same site or on the same street, does that mean they're all together? The lines that were drawn are utterly clear. And it really shows that I don't think we've ever been together as a group, ever. I think there's always been things that divide us. But some of those things that divide us aren't necessarily a bad thing, because I believe that the United States was built on differing views. Yes, there's the vote system, there's the majority gets the vote, and the minority just kind of has to deal with it. But if the majority wants to rock with it, that seems like the minority will get used to it, generally speaking. But when these lines are drawn in the sand, it starts fights. It starts wars. And we're talking, there's people talking about civil war. They're talking about, we're expecting to see civil war like we seen back in the day. No. This civil war is going to be like more like guerrilla warfare, is how I see it. This country was founded, I believe, on different views, and it wasn't founded on compassion, I don't believe. We ran from England. We fought with them. I don't believe any country was founded on compassion. I believe compassion is somewhere along the line on a case-by-case basis. That's what I believe. And like I'm going to keep saying, this could really make some people mad. But I really don't care, because it's really true what I believe. And I believe there's other people out there that think the same thing, but they might not want to say it. And I believe that we can all get along no matter our views. We've proven that. 100 times we've proven that. 100 million times. 2 billion times we've proven it. Every time you sit in a classroom or at your job with that person you don't like, that has different views than you, that's you guys getting along for the sake of the community or the job or the school or the classroom. But what I believe is, as long as these narratives of division are being pushed via social media, the media, our elected officials, our horrible Hollywood pandering millionaires that say this shit to the masses, that we're all in this together shtick, and they're going to keep pushing that, knowing full well we're not the same, we're not in this together, hence why so many celebrities were drugged fucking senselessly after they posted crying in their mansions. Exactly, because pandering only works in certain occasions. It didn't work during COVID because nobody was having that bullshit. But now, they're soaking it up. Our officials are legitimately placating to ideas that may keep them in office, such as Mayor Frey trying to go out with the people and then coming back to kick him in his ass. Same with Bill de Blasio trying to side with protesters while he's locking down playgrounds, and Andrew Cuomo is trying to blame people that are opening back up for the COVID spikes. Yeah, our elected officials are real pieces of work.